all those who have travelled long distances to be with us today. Jack and Sheila flew in last night from Malta, but we've people from Donegal, and Kerry, Kildare, you name it. Thank you all very much for coming. It's exactly 50 years to the day and date. Saturday the 26th of September, sorry, the 29th. I just put that in to see was she listening. It was a Saturday, it was the 29th of September, and it was a lovely fine day. I remember it well. Now, over the years I have learned notes are essential for fellows of my age. We're delighted to have with us today Eileen's bridesmaid, Una. Over the years, Una and I have had a little competition. Who can send the funniest and rudest birthday card to the other? Without being obscene, of course. And I have to say that this year, Una, you won hands down. Sadly, my best man is not here. Val departed in 2001. I have no doubt he's probably in heaven, advising Noah on some design features of the Ark which could have been improved. Sadly, Jim is not with us either, and Maureen left us earlier this year. But we remember them all. It's lovely to have family and friends, and as we look around, it's especially nice to see all the grandchildren, and most especially our most recent arrival, Alison. Eileen was just saying to me yesterday, in fact, when we were driving up, that how did we get through 50 years? And she meant it in the nicest possible way, but I think, where did the time go? Because it just seemed we were going slowly along, nice and steadily, and then suddenly we realised, gosh, we're 50 years together, isn't it great? And what I find very interesting is the reaction of different age groups. I was getting my hair cut recently, and it's a very old-fashioned little traditional barber shop in Ferns in County Wexford, and the fellow who runs it, he's a South African. And I was chatting about it, I said, "We're to do a good job in that now because of a big event coming up." And he said to me, "What's that?" And I said, "We're going to be 50 years married." 50 years? My God, he said, "How did you stick that?" And equally so, one of the little nurses in the hospital there the other week, they discovered that we had this celebration coming up, and she said, 50 years. I'm starting into my second year, and I'm not sure if I see the end of it. So it is all kind of relative, whereas our contemporaries and our near contemporaries have been very kind in congratulating us and wishing us well. Now, equally so, people ask us, well, what's the formula? You know, what's the big secret of this? And I read an article recently, and they liken marriage to a voyage. This will appeal to you sailing types. And he went on in the same article to say he could think of nobody but Christopher Columbus. When Columbus set sail for the Western world, he didn't know where he was going. And when he got there, he didn't know where he was. And when he got back, he couldn't tell people where he'd been. And he did it all on borrowed money. And there is an element of truth in that. But again, a slight digression, there was There was a conference last year over at the Irish Farm Centre by a group within the IFA called Women in Agriculture, and they discussed all sorts of topics. But one of the women at the conference, at one of the sessions, stood up and said, "We don't talk about romance in our marriages." She said, "I'm married for 35 years, and I said to him the other night, 'Do you love me?' And do you know what he said to me? 'I'm still here, haven't I?'" So, I think I have a simpler kind of formula for the whole thing, and I call it the 3 L's. Love, laughter, and luck. Because, excuse me, I have experienced enormous love. We have a lot of laughter, which has got us through many situations. And as far as I'm concerned, I've had an awful lot of luck, especially with my lady wife. Now, I wouldn't hold myself out as being an especially religious person, but I do have a very deep belief in providence and in the goodness of God, who I think has been a major influence. And I have a favourite psalm, which I'd like to read to you. It's quite short. It's Psalm 127. And it says, "Blessed are those who fear the Lord and walk in his ways. By the labour of your hands you shall eat. You will be happy and prosper. Your wife like a fruitful vine in the heart of your house. Your children like shoots of the olive around your table. May the Lord bless you from Zion all the days of your life. And may you see your children's children in a happy Jerusalem." Well, there's no doubt that we've fulfilled pretty well all of that, because we have, by the labour of our hands, eaten and prospered.